March is known as Women's History Month, and Dyanna Knight Lewis, you have made this one incredible Women's History Month for a lot of ladies and a lot of history. Of course, the Chicago Defender put on an excellent, incredible Women of Excellence event this year again. So kudos to you
Thank
and
you.
your amazing team, because I know you can't pull all that off on your own.
Absolutely not. I need the help of more than what I have, but I absolutely cannot. Thank you so much, Monique. It has been just a great Women's History Month.
Yes. March has given us what February took away, a couple extra days, because we needed all of these days to get it in this month.
And to celebrate women and to celebrate each other.
Yes, which has got to feel really good. Tell For those that don't know what Women of Excellence is, we'll of course talk more about how you become the publisher of the Chicago Defender. But for those that don't know what Women of Excellence is, can you give us a little history on what it is and how it came about?
Absolutely. So in 2007, the Chicago Defender actually, Real Times Media decided that Chicago Defender and the other markets would be doing signature events. And Women of Excellence was the first signature event that came about. It started in Women's History Month, March of 2007. And it used to be called 50 Women of Excellence. And sooner or later, after a few years, we dropped the 50 as part of the name, but we still keep the 50 in number and we honor 50 women each year. It is amazing. And, we were told, oh, you will never be able to keep this up by honoring 50 at a time. Well, we haven't run out yet, and I don't anticipate that we will because new and bigger and better and greater things are happening and more emerging leaders every day.
Every single day. And what I really love about those 50 women, that I mean, it feels like the nominations, because you have to be nominated to win, but the nominations curate this list of women, young and mature and everything in between, who are still making a name for themselves and their businesses or organizations that they represent. And it is a beautiful tapestry of Black excellence.
It really is. We just want to tap into some of the women that are most likely and are seen a lot, and then we want to tap into those who you just don't even realize that they're out here doing amazing things, and somebody does because they get nominated. We had over 400 nominations this year
Wow, for 50 spots.
for 50.
Yeah, yeah. That's why when those letters go out, those women feel like college chosen day, get your college letter. That is so exciting. So you are, of course, I mean, the icon of the Chicago Defender. But when you're from Chicago, there's some things that are so Chicago, you don't even know life without them. Dyanna, you are one of those iconic pieces of Chicago. And as long as I have been from the music business to being an entrepreneur to being in media, you have always been a staple in Black Chicago. And you have made quite a name in the history that you've been with the Defender. So tell me exactly, how long have you been with the Chicago Defender, girl?
Well, actually, and thank you for that, Monique. But actually, I've been with the Chicago Defender the entire 18 years. So, Women and Men of Excellence is 18 years old, and Diana is 18 years into Chicago Defender.
Wow.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So, 2007 was our inaugural Women of Excellence and Men of Excellence. And then, sometime during that year, I came into the Chicago Defender.
Okay, okay. But is that your first experience with the Defender, or do you go back even further than that?
Well, I actually go back as far as I can remember because the Chicago Defender was a staple in my grandparents' home. It sat on the radiator. It was the only publication at the time that that we had in the house where we could see ourselves, and so we were
Mm.
excited about that. And before I could read, I was looking at the comic strips in the Chicago Defender, and just the representation. And then maybe around age 9, my mom wanted to hear Gwendolyn Brooks recite poetry. So we went over to Operation Push, and that's what it was known at the time, Operation Push. We went over to Operation Push. I sat on the floor to listen to Gwendolyn Brooks recite poetry, and lo and behold, a Chicago Defender photographer captured my photo. It was in the paper. I thought I was famous. I was like, "Oh wow, we need to buy all of these." Here I am, nine, and my family did buy them all, and we sent them everywhere we could think of to send them to. But we purchased as many Chicago Defender newspapers as we could.
I love it. If only those were stocks, right?
Right, exactly, exactly.
So how does it feel now having watched, I mean, like really created your own baby in a way and watched it grow up? I know you are a mom and now a Jaja, but certainly the Defender has been like your baby. What does it feel to now be the publisher in all the names and rights and privileges that that comes with?
Yeah, so it's one of my proudest moments. It's definitely I'm definitely incredibly excited and proud about the work and the job that I do. I love my job, and when I say I love my job, I love my job. And I don't know if it started that way, but I've grown to love it. It's rewarding to be able to spotlight these amazing women, and then a few months later we spotlight amazing men, and it's just what I think I was born to do. Everything has come full circle from the pages to the publisher.
Literally from the pages to the publisher. I love that. So if you could take us back, right? We all know that 2020 created a lot of shifts in a lot of our lives, and interviews weren't really done like this before 2020. We learned to appreciate all of this technology that was there. It had been created, we just weren't really using it like this. But the newspaper was already in transition to become digital, right?
Absolutely. We had, an online presence prior to 2020, but right around 2019, I led the transition. It was actually July of 2019. I led the transition from the Chicago Defender, and it was very controversial
Um,
transition. Believe that when I tell you. But I led the transition from going from a print publication to all digital. And, because the Chicago Defender had been around so long, there were a lot of feelings about that. And the feelings were very strong that, oh no, we will not have a print publication. But it was just the change in times, the way of the world. People started consuming their news and information, differently. And in order for us to stay with the times, we had to make that change.
yeah, yeah, it can't be called real times and not be with the times, right?
Absolutely not. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So as you were getting into, realizing that, oh wow, we might be ahead of the curve, what was your COVID bounce back like? Because I know that working in office with people or even meeting people was a different time in there. So how do you feel things are made it through there and maybe ended up better now afterwards?
Well, pre-COVID, when we were printing newspapers, we were printing about 10,000 a week. We had gone from a daily publication to a weekly publication. So since COVID and during COVID, by going all digital, now we were able to now reach over 100,000 unique visitors each month. So
Wow.
that's far more. We're touching far more people than we would have. We're reaching far more than we could have with the print publication, and just happy about where we are as opposed to where we would be if we had not made the decision to do this.
Yeah. And I think that there's so many things in life that we can say right now. We're glad that we went through it, no, had no idea anticipating. But I think it kind of pressed us to find our reinventions. And I'm probably on my 11th or 12th reinvention of myself right now. But that's what it takes. And that's what life is. So could you walk us through what you see the future of the Defender being mixed with its history, because this is celebrating a big year in the Chicago Defender history. Tell us a little bit about the history and then the future of where you see this going.
Well, we are coming up to 120 years celebration of Chicago Defender. So on May 5th, the Chicago Defender will turn 120 years old. And we call it our journey to empowerment. It's a continuous journey, to empower the African American community. And with our digital outlets, and we're all digital outlets, then we're able now to touch a younger demographic where we were reaching, a little bit more mature audience. Now the younger generation and demographics are becoming more aware of the Chicago Defender. We're able to reach them where they, where they gather their information sources, which is right online, and speak their language, so to speak, with our social media platform for sure. That's one that, we're touching just a little bit younger demographic.
Yeah, that's good. And media, it will never go away. How we consume our media is what has evolved, over the last decade. And I mean, I was somewhere the other day and they were talking about when TV used to go off. And I'm just old enough to remember when TV used to go off. And now we have 24/7 media all the time. And it's just amazing what it all evolves, like. Um, what do you see next for yourself in this role because you play a double role, right? Tell us a little bit about that. You're part of the Real Times Media VP suite, as well as publisher for the Chicago Defender.
Absolutely. So my dual role is regional vice president for Real Times Media, where I interface with the other top level executives, and we strategize and just plan out just different things that we can do in our different markets, because we're in Atlanta at the Atlanta Daily World, we're in Detroit, the Michigan Chronicle, we're in Pittsburgh, the New Pittsburgh Courier. We have the Who's Who in Black brand. We have a Pitch Black brand. So there's so many different brands under Real Times Media. And, like I said, we get together and we strategize and just determine what that's going to look like for us, so that we're staying relevant, and so that all we're staying relevant in all our markets and meeting the people in those markets right where they are.
So that's the Real Times part. And then Chicago Defender, you are the exclusive publisher of that. That's a you kind of thing, right?
I am, and I am the longest serving woman publisher of the Chicago Defender.
Yeah.
And yes, as the publisher, then I oversee the entire brand. So that includes the editorial, that includes the sales, marketing, advertising, and that includes those signature events that everyone loves.
Absolutely. Well, I know that you keep your hands full. I don't even know, can't not even imagine what your inbox, your emails look like. And if I have 1,000 tabs open on my computer, I know that you have that many open as well. Well, I just want to let you know that what you do and what you have done and your show of excellence in everything that you do is noticed. And there is no one in this town that has been around that does not appreciate not only just you being a good person and being outgoing and always in the party, but also a style icon, honey.
Oh,
And anybody at events be like, okay, this is what I'm wearing because what Dyanna gonna have on when we get there? But you are someone that I have looked up to in so many ways, as well as been a friend, to watch you navigate this space. So, honey, you are the ultimate premier woman of excellence, in my opinion.
thank you very much. And yes, actually, style and fashion might be my first love. I majored in fashion merchandising in college, and yes, that just might be my first love. But let me say, even with that, I love what I do. I love the work that I do. I love the expressions and the expressions of gratitude, the expressions of excitement when we mail out those letters. We're just excited as the ones that are getting it. So when the congratulatory letters go out and we're waiting for our phones to ring or our emails to reply back and say, I got it, I accept, I'm so excited. And then to get all the way to the day and to watch the women shine and the men, pop their collars. that it's all worth it because they are seen. Somebody saw them, we see them, somebody brought it to our attention. They're seen. And if they were never seen before, it's made their day. It's made their this moment has made a monumental time in their lives and in ours as well.
Mm.
900 and counting later, 18 years and counting later. And I say and counting because our work is far from done.
Absolutely. Well, you are just beginning, and there are women creating and crafting their success stories right now with being a woman of excellence on their vision board. But next up is men of excellence. So I know it's March. We've got to get to what's this next April, which is also Black Women's History Month.
Mhm.
But then it'll be June before you know it. So tell us a little bit about men of excellence before we go.
So men of excellence, well, it's a little different. It's like Mother's Day and Father's Day. Okay, so there's all this excitement from the women when and mothers when it's Mother's Day, and the restaurants you can't hardly get a reservation. Well, then there's men of excellence, which is right around Father's Day. And it's a little bit different. The excitement is not the same. And sometimes we tap it and say, hello, is there a post there? Did you get a letter from us? uh, are you interested in receiving this award and this honor? And they finally wake up, and a lot of times they don't wake up until they get there and they say, oh, the room is full and maybe I should have thought to invite. Well, we've been telling you this is what we do, and prepare for it. And we work with the women and the men for a 4 month period. So it's four
Oh,
months leading up to prepare you for the event. And so there should be no confusion, but a lot of times the men are still they sometimes don't get it until they get in the room. But the excitement is not quite as as bodacious and as the women,
well,
but
the fellas be trying to, they be so
cool.
cool. They
Yeah,
be so
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
They don't want to get excited, but they love to see their name on those awards when it all goes down.
They do, and they love to walk across that stage and yes, get their moment just like the women.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Well, fellas, if you're watching this, you might want to check your email and see if you may have missed a message to be featured as one of the men of excellence from the Chicago Defender. Well, Dyanna, as we enter into Women's History Month, give us one golden gem of what you would say is your overarching experience of dealing with women of color and watching women evolve over the time that you've been at the Defender, the amount of women that you work with. What does being a Black woman mean to you in this space?
Wow. Well, the one thing that I've noticed is that the the level of achievements are so grand for women now. We're just at top level positions everywhere, in government, in entertainment, in philanthropy. So we're at the top where women were sometimes not at the top of any of those categories. And so I love it. I love to see that, we are taking these prime positions, and let's keep doing so. I can only see us going further and further and breaking the glass ceiling each time. And I'm just excited to be here for it all. I love seeing the new group coming in and the younger women coming in. Um, it's just been a breath of fresh air because their energy is different and the things that they bring to the table are different. And maybe that's why we're getting to these next level positions that we had never seen before. But I'm here for it and I love it all.
Absolutely. I love it for all of us. So, this has been the most perfect way to close out the 31 days of March and Women's History Month 2025. Dyanna Knight Lewis, we salute you as a voice of influence for generations, for those of us who have been around long enough to grow up with you and be on your peer level, and be able to reach back and help young ladies that are finding their way now, that see themselves possible because of the things that we have done and been able to execute. And that just is, it really is the privilege of being a Black woman. So we
You really
celebrate and we salute all of the ladies out there. Let's get ready for Black Women's History Month, and you are never going to be run out of content right here at the Chicago Defender. So follow us at the Chicago Defender. Check out more at www.thechicagodefender.com. Have a wonderful Black Women's History Month.
yes.